a global gathering ahead of the big kickoff. Fans from around the world have gathered in Moscow as the Russia World Cup gets underway. But there is a fear the 2018 hosts could let the party down. A 7-match winless run has dramatically lowered expectations of the national team. Reaching the knockout rounds remains a realistic goal, but that means the pressure is on the players to win the opening match.
Our team wants the people to be proud of us, to be proud of their team, and we really want to win their support and make them proud.
With seemingly tougher games to come in the group stage against Egypt and Uruguay, a win against Saudi Arabia would appear to be vital for Russia, and the fans remain optimistic.
I think Russia are going to win because if you look at it from the technical point of view, Russia will be much better than Saudi Arabia, and Russia is the host, and that's the opening game.
So after all the build-up, Russia 2018 is about to become a reality. The pressure is clearly on the hosts to kick off their campaign with a victory, but their opponents have ambitions of their own. Saudi Arabia is playing in its first World Cup since qualifying in 2006. They hope to take advantage if the hosts show signs of first-night nerves.
We want to do our best and give everything so we can try to satisfy and make the Saudi people happy, and I am sure that will be the case.
The 2018 World Cup has the potential to be a celebration full of surprises. The Russian team hopes to prolong the festivities. Dan Williams, CGTN, Moscow.
Well, Africa will have 5 representatives at the World Cup this year: Nigeria, Morocco, Senegal, Egypt and Tunisia. They've been putting the final touches to their preparations. Morocco have been training in Voronezh ahead of their opener against Iran on Friday. They're in Group B along with Portugal, Spain and Iran. Nigeria have been preparing in Luzh-niki. They're in Group D with Argentina, Iceland and Croatia. Egypt's Pharaohs are banking on their star player Mohamed Salah to be fit for the games against Russia, Saudi Arabia and Uruguay. Senegal are paired with Poland, Colombia and Japan in Group H, while Tunisia are in Group G with England, Panama and Belgium. Well, for more on the African teams at the tournament, I'm now joined by Deji Badmus. I'm actually joined by Adel Al-Marouki in Cairo, and yes, indeed, Deji Badmus, of course, joining us in Lagos. Adel, let's start with you. Plenty of expectation for Egypt in this tournament. Has the mood there been dampened at all by concerns over Mohamed Salah's fitness?
It has indeed. Mohamed Salah, according to the latest news that have been coming out, has not been going into the training regularly or even for the full time of the training when he does appear, which are all indications that he will most probably miss tomorrow's game, or in the best case scenario, he will not be playing during the whole full time. So all of this is a concern. Salah is the scoring power of the Egyptian national team. During the past year, he has scored more than 60% of the Egyptian national team's goals, which in a sense means that the team greatly relies on him. Egyptians' hopes and aspirations for the World Cup too also depends greatly on Salah. So it has, in a way, damped or ruined a bit the happiness that Egyptians had when they first qualified for the first time in 28 years.
And Deji, turning to Nigeria now, we know Nigeria, of course, can count on plenty of support back home, but even in Russia, how much, though, will fans' expectations weigh on the team?
Well, Lindy, what I would just tell you is that there's no question at all that there's a huge burden of expectation on the players and, of course, the technical crew. But the fact is that the players are professionals. I mean, the majority of them, if not all of them, are actually professional playing abroad. So they understand the enormity of this tournament. They understand that burden of expectation. As a matter of fact, before they left this country, the president hosted them, and they promised the president that they were going to bring the trophy back home. So I think they understand it. Some of these guys actually have played in the World Cup before. Some of them played in 2013, the African Cup of Nations, when Nigeria lifted that trophy. So they really understand it. And they also know Nigerians. They know that Nigerians expect so much from them. And, well, I do not think the burden of expectation will break them. They understand those expectations. And what Nigerians actually want from them is a very good performance. Of course, Nigerians want them to go beyond the group stages, if you like.
Indeed, indeed. And Adele, of course, with or without Mohamed Salah, the Pharaohs will be in action against Uruguay tomorrow. What do you think their chances are of a positive result?
Statistics is not in the Pharaohs' favor. Uruguay is a very strong football team. Latin America in general, of course, Uruguay is one of the teams that has won historically 2 World Cups. Their appearance in the World Cup is very frequent, and their proceeding or to reach the knockouts is something that is quite usual for the team. On the contrary, the Pharaohs have qualified very few times, and when they do, they've never passed the group stage. So in terms of statistics, it is not very comforting. Actually, this is going to be the Pharaohs' most tough game in the group. They're playing also against Russia, the host, and Saudi Arabia, but Uruguay has been perceived as the toughest game for the Egyptians. How will they proceed? Well, the Egyptians have always been full of surprises in the Continental Cup years back. They've played in a great shape against Brazil and Italy, but when it came to the United States, they did not perform as strongly. So we're used to see surprises from the Pharaohs, but putting on the statistics, putting on Mohamed Salah's condition, there are many factors that will be affecting the mood and the performance of the team.
Indeed. Deji, turning to the Super Eagles once more, we know, of course, that they've qualified for 5 World Cups in the past and even progressed past the group stages in 3 of those tournaments. How good are their chances this time around of making it to the knockout round this year?
Well, one thing a lot of people will tell you here, most football analysts will tell you, is that you look at the current Super Eagles squad, there is no standout player like, for instance, in the mold of JJ Okocha, who can actually turn a game around. But what this squad has is that team spirit. I mean, playing together as a team, a lot of people expect that they should be able to make it out of that group. It's a very tricky group, Lindy, quite tricky. I mean, Nigeria has played Argentina before. The last time we met in the friendly sometime in November, we beat them 4-2. But this is the World Cup. It's a different ball game altogether. We've never played Croatia and Iceland before, so these are very tricky opponents. And what I can just tell you is that if Nigeria is able to win its first game, it's very crucial. If Nigeria is able to win its first game and secure the 3 points, then things could be smooth for it. But altogether, everybody, most of the fans here expect the Super Eagles to make it out of the tricky group, make it beyond the group stages. As a matter of fact, some weeks back when I spoke with the head, that's the president of the Nigerian Football Federation, he said, look, he was not looking at the quarterfinals, that, you know, an African team had actually gotten to the quarterfinal, that he was looking beyond the quarterfinal stage. He was looking at the finals. It was not impossible for Nigeria to win the trophy. And of course, Mikel pledged that Nigeria would bring back the trophy. Because those are pledges. We know it's not going to be easy at all. But fact is that a lot of people here expect the Eagles to make it out of that group, make it at least, at the very least, to the quarterfinals, to the quarterfinal stage. So, but we just have to wait and see. The first game is very crucial. If Nigeria takes that game, then I can tell you anything can just happen. We just may be able to go far in this tournament.
Well, indeed. And of course, fans back home will be eagerly watching and supporting. Thanks very much to Adel Al-Maruki joining us there from Cairo, and of course, Deji Badmus in Lagos.